What if I told you that America, the land that once led the world in engineering, is now 50 years behind China? It sounds unbelievable. But take one step into the subway in Shenzhen, and you'll start to wonder, how did this happen? Picture this. You're standing inside Gangxia North Station. It feels less like a metro stop and more like an airport in a sci-fi movie. Gleaming glass, towering ceilings, digital panels guiding your every move, and not a single piece of trash in sight. Now compare that to New York. Flickering lights, decades-old tile, the screech of rusted wheels. It's not just different, it feels like a different era. But subways are just the beginning. While America is still patching potholes, China is building futuristic drone delivery networks. While US airports struggle with outdated terminals, China unveils mega airports shaped like stars and built in record time. So, how did we get here? Why is China racing ahead while the US lags behind? And is there any hope of catching up? In this video, we're going underground into one of the most impressive transit systems on Earth, the Shenzhen Metro. We'll walk through Gangxia North Station, explore Line 14, and take a quick detour to a park where your lunch is flown in by drone. Yeah, it's that futuristic. From mega bridges to high-speed rail, we'll show you why infrastructure fans are turning their eyes to China. And by the end of this video, you might find yourself asking the same question we are. Can America still build the future? Or has it already been left behind? China didn't always look like the future. In the 1980s, much of the country was still developing. Dirt roads, crowded buses, and barely any subway systems to speak of. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Fast. By the 1990s, China made a decision. It would build, and it would build big. Under a series of government-led 5-year plans, infrastructure became a national priority. Highways, bridges, metros, and airports were no longer just projects. They were symbols of progress. While Western democracies debated, China acted. Centralized planning meant fewer roadblocks, faster approvals, and streamlined funding. The goal wasn't just convenience. It was transformation. But here's the twist. It wasn't just about money. China poured trillions into construction, yes, but it also built something the US struggles with: expertise. A generation of engineers, architects, and construction firms cut their teeth on mega projects. They learned how to build faster, cheaper, and better. And then they scaled up. By 2023, China had built more than 26,000 miles of high-speed rail, the longest network in the world. It has over 40 cities with metro systems, many built in just the last 10 to 20 years. Compare that to the US, where major infrastructure projects often take decades, if they're built at all. And it's not just metros or trains. China's roads, ports, and digital infrastructure are all part of a long-term strategy. The Belt and Road Initiative, for example, aims to connect the world through Chinese-built infrastructure, a global vision powered by domestic success. So the real question isn't how China did it. It's why the US can't seem to do the same. Is it bureaucracy? Politics? A loss of national vision? Because while America plans studies, China builds cities. And now, we're going to see the result of that mindset up close. Let's go underground to Shenzhen and take a ride into the future. It feels like stepping into tomorrow. Shenzhen, once a sleepy fishing village, is now a mega city of over 17 million people. But the true marvel lies underground, the Shenzhen Metro. Over 300 miles of sleek high-speed rail lines connecting almost every corner of the city. Clean, fast, efficient, and growing. But there's one station that stops everyone in their tracks: Gangxia North. This isn't just a metro station, it's a transportation cathedral. The ceilings stretch so high you almost forget you're underground. Natural light pours in through skylights. The walls shine with polished stone. Art installations float above escalators. And directional signs? Digitally animated, intuitive, in multiple languages. You don't just ride through Gangxia North, you experience it. Now contrast that with New York City's Penn Station. Crowded, dimensionally confusing, built for another era and constantly under renovation. In fact, parts of the NYC subway system still use signals from the 1930s. That's not an exaggeration. It's a reality. So, how did Shenzhen pull this off? Here's the jaw-dropping part. Gangxia North was built in just 4 years. 4 years. Not only that, it connects 4 different metro lines across multiple levels, all integrated into a single unified hub. Engineers used advanced modeling, prefabricated construction, and 24-hour schedules to speed up the process. It's the definition of high-efficiency urban planning. And then there's Line 14. This newly completed line uses fully automated trains. No drivers at all. The stations are designed with smart lighting, platform screen doors, facial recognition ticketing, and ultra-clean air systems. Everything runs on time. Everything feels new, because it is. In the US, automation in metros is still considered futuristic. In Shenzhen, it's already the standard. But maybe the most telling difference? Cost. While New York's 2nd Avenue subway cost nearly $2.5 billion per mile, Shenzhen builds entire lines for a fraction of that. Why? Lower labor costs, streamlined approvals, and an industrial approach to transit construction. It's not just about design, it's about philosophy. In China, metros are a public service and a point of pride. In the US, they're often afterthoughts, neglected, underfunded, and politically tangled. And here's a question worth asking. If Shenzhen can build something this advanced in just a few years, what could American cities look like if they followed the same path? Because while you wait for a delayed train in New York, in Shenzhen, a fully automated one just left the station. On time. And spotless. You don't need a time machine to see the future. You just need a Metro card in Shenzhen. This city, once a small fishing town on China's southern coast, is now a sprawling high-tech metropolis. But its most stunning feature isn't visible from the skyline. It's underground. Welcome to the Shenzhen Metro, one of the most expansive and advanced subway systems on the planet. With over 300 miles of track, and growing, the metro snakes beneath the city like a steel artery, connecting high-rise tech parks to suburban neighborhoods with jaw-dropping speed and efficiency. Built in just over 2 decades, this entire network makes even the best Western transit systems look ancient. But the crown jewel? That's Gangxia North Station. Step inside and you're not in a metro station anymore. You're in something that feels like a futuristic airport, a museum, and a digital hub all rolled into one. The ceilings soar above you. Natural light cascades down through massive skylights. Sculptural art hangs in midair. Polished stone floors stretch for what feels like miles. Interactive digital panels help you navigate in multiple languages. You're not lost. You're guided. And then you realize it's clean. Spotless, actually. No trash, no graffiti, no strange smells, no rats. Now let's do a quick mental comparison. You're in New York. You've just descended into Penn Station or a midtown subway stop. It's crowded, claustrophobic. You hear the screech of old metal wheels. You see flickering lights, cracked tiles, and a decades-old infrastructure groaning under modern demand. And then, as if the contrast wasn't enough, you find out that Gangxia North was built in just 4 years. That's right, 4 years. Not 20, not 15. 4. It's not just a station either, it's a multi-line interchange connecting 4 major metro lines that carry millions of passengers a day. The construction used advanced tunnel boring machines, modular segments, and a non-stop around-the-clock schedule. Delays? Not here. Massive cost overruns? Not even close. And then there's Line 14, one of the newest additions to Shenzhen's network, and it's fully automated. No drivers. Just a seamless stream of sleek electric trains guided by AI systems and monitored in real time. Every station along Line 14 is packed with futuristic features. For starters, all the platforms have full-length glass screen doors, so there's no way to fall onto the tracks, which makes it feel a lot safer. The arrival boards? They're not just accurate, they're to the second precise. You see your train coming on the screen, and a few moments later, it's right there in front of you. Instead of fumbling for a card or your phone, some riders just walk through using facial recognition. It scans your face, confirms your ID, and you're through. No swiping, no tapping. The air? Surprisingly fresh. That's because these stations are equipped with high-efficiency air systems that keep everything clean and cool. And the whole experience is almost entirely touchless. No pushing buttons, no turnstiles you have to shove through. It's smooth, seamless, and feels like it was designed for a post-pandemic world. And this isn't some prototype or limited rollout. This is standard. Meanwhile, in the US, systems like BART in San Francisco or the L train in NYC are still debating automation. Discussions take years. Implementation? Maybe never. Here's another shocker. Cost. The Second Avenue subway in New York? Over $2.5 billion per mile. And it only added a few stops. In Shenzhen, entire lines are built for a fraction of that price, often under $300 million per mile. Why? Lower labor costs, yes. But also, faster approval processes, centralized government coordination, and a nationwide strategy that treats infrastructure like an essential service, not a political football. In China, a metro isn't just about moving people. It's a showcase of national pride, urban efficiency, and technological ambition. In America, it's often about surviving budget meetings, overcoming lawsuits, and managing century-old tunnels. So here's the big question. If Shenzhen can build 300 miles of ultra-modern metro in 2 decades, with driverless trains, luxurious stations, and digital infrastructure, then why can't the US do the same? And maybe an even more haunting question. Has America forgotten how to build big things? Because down here, underground in Shenzhen, the future is already moving. Now, while China races forward, America seems stuck in place. Take a ride on the New York City subway, and you'll feel it immediately. The screeching brakes, the grimy platforms, the delays that come out of nowhere. It's not just old, it feels tired. Some parts of the system still run on technology from the 1930s. Yes, really, and upgrades? They take forever. The much-hyped Second Avenue subway took nearly a century to go from idea to reality, and even then, only a few stops were built. The price tag? Over $4 billion for just 2 miles of track. 2. So what's holding America back? A big part of the problem is bureaucracy. In the US, building anything major involves a tangled web of approvals, permits, environmental reviews, lawsuits, zoning battles, community board meetings, and budget hearings. By the time a project is actually approved, years, sometimes decades, have already passed. Then there's the political gridlock. Infrastructure has become a buzzword in Washington, but turning ideas into concrete and steel, that's another story. Parties fight, funding dries up, and bold projects often get watered down until they're barely recognizable. Labor and material costs are another factor. In places like New York or San Francisco, union rules, limited competition, and high land costs all push prices sky high. Add delays and endless consultants into the mix, and you've got a recipe for spiraling costs with very little to show for it. And perhaps worst of all, there's a lack of vision. Once upon a time, America built the Hoover Dam, the interstate highway system. and sent astronauts to the moon. Big, bold, breathtaking projects. But now, just replacing a bridge can turn into a 10-year debate. So while China is busy opening a dozen new metro lines in a single year, American cities are still arguing over where to dig. And this isn't just about convenience, it's about competitiveness. Infrastructure is the backbone of an economy. When it's broken, everything slows down, from deliveries to daily commutes to global business. The question is, has America accepted decay as normal? Because the longer things stay the same, the further behind we fall. In Shenzhen's Talent Park, drone food delivery is already a functioning part of daily life. It is not an experiment or a concept. It is operational. Food delivery drones take off from nearby restaurants and distribution hubs. They follow predetermined flight paths, navigate urban airspace with precision, and lower meals into secure, smart lockers inside the park. Once the food is placed inside, the customer receives a notification. They walk up, scan their phone, and retrieve the order. The process is fast, contactless, and fully automated. No human couriers are involved. The system is designed for efficiency and public convenience, especially in high-density areas where road traffic can cause long delivery delays. This drone delivery model is already in use across multiple zones in Shenzhen. It's being expanded further by local technology companies with government support. Drones fly fixed routes and are carefully regulated by airspace authorities, with real-time tracking and route management. Each drone can complete several deliveries per hour, and recharging stations are located strategically to maximize operational uptime. In contrast, food delivery in most U.S. cities still relies on human drivers. Traffic congestion, parking limitations, and long distances often lead to delays. Labor shortages and rising service fees also impact reliability. Despite investment in delivery apps and automation, the U.S. has not yet introduced widespread drone delivery in public urban areas at this scale. Shenzhen's system represents a complete rethinking of last-mile logistics. It integrates hardware, software, urban design, and airspace management into one seamless experience. It's not a premium service, it's simply how things work. Talent Park serves as a real-world example of what is already possible when infrastructure, government policy, and private innovation align. While the U.S. continues to pilot drone delivery in limited trials, Shenzhen has moved ahead into live implementation. Drone delivery is no longer a vision of the future. In parts of China, it's already part of the infrastructure. While the U.S. debates how to fix what's broken, China just keeps building at a pace that defies belief. Let's start with one of the boldest engineering feats on the planet, the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, a project so ambitious, many doubted it would ever be completed. But China didn't just finish it. They built the longest sea crossing in the world, stretching 55 kilometers over open water. It includes an undersea tunnel and even artificial islands. The entire structure was completed in less than a decade, and it now slashes travel time between three major cities, from 3 hours down to 30 minutes. Now compare that to the Gateway Tunnel project in the US, a much-needed rail link under the Hudson River. It's been talked about for years, with funding still stuck in limbo. No ground broken, no ribbon cut. Just more studies and meetings. Then there's high-speed rail, a symbol of national pride in China. By now, China has built more than 26,000 miles of high-speed railway. Trains fly between cities at 350 kilometers per hour, so smooth and quiet you barely feel the motion. The Beijing-Shanghai line alone carries over 100 million people every year, and it only took 3 years to complete. Meanwhile, in the US, there is still no true high-speed rail anywhere. California's high-speed rail project was announced in 2008. It's now 2025, and it's still incomplete. Costs have ballooned, timelines have shifted, and no one can say for sure when or if it will be finished. And it doesn't stop there. In 2019, China opened the Beijing Daxing International Airport, designed to handle over 100 million passengers a year. From approval to opening day, it took just 5 years. Its design? A stunning, star-shaped terminal with cutting-edge automation, facial recognition, and seamless integration with metro and high-speed rail. It's not just an airport, it's a statement. Now look at LaGuardia, one of the busiest airports in the US, and until recently one of the most outdated. A renovation project took more than 5 years just to fix one terminal. No new rail connections, no revolutionary design, just a long overdue facelift. The contrast is staggering, and here's the twist. China isn't just doing this for itself. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, it's exporting this infrastructure model across the world. Africa, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, Chinese engineers are building roads, ports, rail lines. China isn't just shaping its future, it's reshaping everyone else's too. So while America is stuck fixing potholes, China is laying the foundation for the next century. The question is no longer, who's ahead? It's, can the US even compete anymore? After seeing what's happening in China, the metro systems, the mega bridges, the high-speed trains, the drone deliveries, it's hard not to ask one simple question. What happened to the United States? Once, America was known for building the impossible. The Hoover Dam, the Golden Gate Bridge, the Apollo missions. Infrastructure wasn't just about function. It was about ambition. But somewhere along the way, the urgency faded. Today, the US struggles to maintain what it already has. Delayed subway extensions, aging bridges, airports stuck in the 20th century. Projects take decades, costs skyrocket, and when something finally opens, it often feels outdated before the ribbon is even cut. Meanwhile, China is building entire cities with next-generation systems in the time it takes the US to approve a permit. And that's the uncomfortable truth. It's not just about technology or money. It's about mindset. China treats infrastructure as a core pillar of national development, something that defines the future. The US treats it as a political fight, as something reactive, something negotiable. So can the US catch up? Technically, yes. The resources exist. The talent is there. But it will take more than budgets and blueprints. It will take political courage, long-term thinking, and a national commitment to building again. Not for the next election cycle, but for the next generation. Until that happens, videos like this one will keep showing the same pattern. One country racing forward, and the other falling further behind. But the story isn't over. Because now, more Americans are seeing what's possible. They're traveling, they're comparing, they're asking hard questions. And that may be the beginning of something. So, here's the final question. What would it take for the US to start building like the future matters again? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you want to see more videos about the most jaw-dropping infrastructure projects happening around the world, make sure to subscribe. The world is changing fast. The only question is, who's building the future? And who's just watching it happen?